The Ukrainians have struck the strategic Air Force base in Engels in Saratov Oblast with drones and caused, it seems, tremendous damage. But we'll talk about this and what we know so far in this video. Surfshark VPN is sponsoring this channel for this month. If you want to bypass geo-blocking or hide your internet activity all with a convenient app, then use Surfshark VPN for just $2.09 a month by using my link. You get 4 months extra as well. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring this channel. In the night from the 19th to the 20th of March, the Air Force base here in Engels in Saratov was hit. As you can see, it's roughly 600 kilometers away from the current front lines. It was hit by drones from the SBU, the drone forces, and the SSO of the Ukrainian armed forces. Here, the drones didn't just hit something, they caused secondary explosions, as we can also see here, where you can see the tremendous smoke plume. As you can see, this is the distance, and he zooms in, and that's the size of it. So we clearly see this wasn't just the warhead of the drones, but they destroyed massively something on the ground. According to some open source claims that I was not able to confirm, just in full transparency, supposedly 3 Tupolev 95 MS as well as 2 Tupolev 160 were at the airport at the time. There's also claim that right before that, an Ilyushin 76 with KH-101 cruise missiles landed at the Air Force Base to allow for additional strikes in the future. The base itself is being used for Tupolev 95, for Tupolev 122 M3, and for Tupolev 160, all strategic bombers, all part of the nuclear triad of the Russians, and all of them are capable of launching cruise missiles against Ukraine and have done so in the past. The Ukrainians have hit an ammunition depot in the east. There is a geolocation of it, and as you can see, this is the effect of the explosions from a certain distance, and by calculation of the pressure wave and of the sound, the distance was judged by this account here, and according to this, the location which we saw was here, and the explosion likely started at this point here at this ammo depot. As we can see from Google Maps, the ammunition is stored outside with some cover from revetments to give it a chance that if this blows up, this doesn't automatically blow up as well. But in general, it's being stored out in the open, and we see the tremendous damage that was done by the buildings at a distance of several hundred meters, where still the pressure wave did massive damage here as well. The Ukrainians very likely also hit a second ammo depot. This account calculated, according to geolocations, that it must, according to pictures and videos, that another explosion must have happened here. And we have this here on the map, and this was the first depot. This is the second one here that was likely hit. And again, you see a lot stored outside in the open, and revetments probably for additional ammo storage being here as well. This has also blown up. The damage there must have been to a size that it even damaged a hospital. We have this geolocated at this point, and you see the distance from it here. We can quickly measure it. This would be a distance of 4.6 kilometers, but still the outside of the hospital was damaged, showing again the insane power of that explosions. The interesting part is that the Russians store a lot of ammo outside in the open, often without proper guardrails of any kind. We see that here, and interestingly enough, it seems that they, at least at times, use openly ammunition lying open around to rearm their bombers. In this case, a Tupolev 160 that would have been rearmed here, and we can read out of this if there have been any drones and any planes at the site at the moment of the attack, that very likely they have been damaged. The Russians have some rudimentary revetments here, as we can see. That should be a revetment, so if a bomber is here and blows up, there might be some chance that this one is not being hit. But as we can see, the explosion was here and reached out for 4 kilometers. If there were planes here, there's a solid chance that they have been damaged. Again, a plane is not made to withstand pressure, so a massive ammo explosion fairly close to it, a mere 300 meters away, can by the pressure alone already damage the planes, and of course fragments can also destroy the plane. So far I have not seen that there is any any visual evidence, so satellite pictures are not available yet at the time of the recording, but it's likely that if there were planes, they were seriously damaged, they were seriously in danger. According to rumors, there are some Russian channels that claim that 2 Tupolev 95 pilots have been killed, so at least a part of a Tupolev 95 crew of the old turboprop bomber of the Russians here. This I cannot confirm either, and a fighter bomber, the Russian mill blogger that usually is accurate, has not reported it yet at the time where I finished the research, so this might also be wrong. In general, the attack was not just successful, but it's also unproblematic. First of all, it's clearly a military target, and it's not Ukraine's fault if the Russians have military storage sites close to hospitals and close to buildings, as we can see here. If the Russians store enough explosives to damage a building at this distance, it's the Russians' fault, not the Ukrainians. The fact that the Russians have dachas here, weekend houses, directly next to an ammo depot is not Ukraine's fault. So in this regard, it's completely unproblematic. Also, a ceasefire has not been signed yet, and the ceasefire that is up for discussion is only mentioning energy infrastructure. This, on the other hand, is not energy infrastructure, but clearly a military target. But what's the importance? What's the meaning of this attack? First of all, from Engels, regularly bombers are starting that are launching cruise missiles against Ukraine, usually KH-101. The bombers that Russia has available are limited in numbers. So if there were a couple destroyed or damaged enough that they are not available for many months, this does not mean that the Ukrainians won't face additional attacks. The Russians still have plenty enough for this, but it means that the maintenance pressure for the other ones will increase, and this should lead to a higher loss rate due to attrition, due to human error, simply for the fact that they would be needed stronger more often in this case. So it might actually in the midterm lead to additional losses. Russia is also needs those planes for the nuclear triad. So if they lose them and if they continue losing them, that would be another argument for the Russians to start worrying about the development of the war. And it would obviously be an additional pressure towards the Russians to make peace rather sooner than later before they lose more of those planes. Generally, it also will force the Russians to provide additional radar and air defense systems. Obviously, there is air defense there, but obviously as well, it was not sufficient to stop the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians don't have stealth bombers that are impervious to the kind of radar the Russians have there. Their cruise missiles, their drones should have been visible to the Russians if they had proper coverage. This again should force the Russians to deploy additional systems, which in the end might ease the situation along the front line and thus probably or maybe open up opportunities, for instance, for the Mirage 2000 or the F-16 to strike along the front line. In total, to summarize more or less, this was likely a high number of cruise missiles that was destroyed. That's the indication of the explosion here, the size of the smoke plume and the secondary explosions. Whether planes were destroyed or damaged is unclear, even though there are many rumors, but rumors don't count much. We should know more in the next few days due to satellite pictures. Whether 2 pilots have been killed or not is a rumor that is spreading, but so far it's not confirmed either. As said, fighter bomber, one of the reliable sources when it comes, and somebody who often admits losses, at least he has not confirmed the losses as of yet. Still though, it was a huge success for the Ukrainians. This means that probably dozens of cruise missiles have been basically intercepted before they were even launched towards Ukraine. It will mean more pressure on the Russian bombers, more pressure on the ground crew. It will weaken the logistics in Engels Air Force Base, and it will force the Russians to fix additional air defense in place there. It will fix additional air defense. It will force the Russians to deploy additional one. In total, a sizable success that the Ukrainians have achieved here with their own domestic systems that they have developed during this war. But that was it from me for today for this small report about this event. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Add a comment if you have something to add. And if you're new here, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. This channel is only possible because of the support of viewers like you. If you like to support the channel, you can do so by the means in the description. But that's it from me for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back.